Guys, we are joined by Dave Feldman, owner of BKFC. Obviously, they just had an awesome pay-per-view this past weekend, the biggest one ever. And of course, everybody says it's always the biggest one ever, but it really was. Artem and Jason Knight, man, what a fight! And I think I'm going to get your thoughts here in a second, but I tell you what, I kind of put it out there on social media, just my own personal thoughts. I thought Artem and Jason Knight is going to be to BKFC what Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonnar was to UFC at that time. Because that was the fight back then that kind of put them into the mainstream. And I feel like this is a similar situation. And maybe it's too early to say that, but I really feel like you guys really just kind of kicked it up into another level. Talk, man. What are your thoughts on that? How do you feel about that?
I agree. This event turned the corner for us. It absolutely did. Mainstream media covered us, right? They covered us, but they didn't accept us. We're accepted now. We are, as you saw some of the stories that went out, it's 2019 and bare knuckle boxing is ... popular.
Yeah.
It's happening now. And look, there were two bare knuckle events this weekend. And look, I'll give a shout out to my man, Data 5000. He put on a good event. I'm happy to see that he put on a good event. The fighters were paid, good production, the whole 9 yards, man. All that does is lift up the sport. So it's great. It's great to see that somebody else is doing that. And that I was personally able to pave the way that now people are talking like bare knuckle boxing in a normal sentence. They're not like it's bare knuckle. They're like, oh, bare knuckle? Yeah, which one are you watching? It's great. It's really absolutely amazing. And I'm happy that me and my company and my team were able to do that. But, yeah, Josh, man, it turned the corner. It was weird, man. The first event was unbelievable, and a lot of people reached out to us. Second event was decent. Third event was very good. Fourth event was off the hook. The fifth event just went off the freaking charts. And I wake up on Sunday morning with, 25 sponsor inquiries, 16 investment inquiries. Are you selling stock in your company? It was unbelievable. That was the one we needed. And, I take my hat off to Jason Knight and Artem Loba for literally leaving every drop of blood, sweat, and tears that they had in the center of that ring.
Some of the main events, whether it's MMA, boxing, or, even bare knuckle, whatever, sometimes you kind of have to manufacture that buzz, and you kind of have to manufacture the anticipation. But with this one, it was different. I thought that I genuinely, and not because, you're here with me, and not because it's kind of my job to watch this stuff, but I really got a genuine buzz before the show, and I'm still buzzing off of that fight. There was a genuine anticipation. You guys didn't have to manufacture much. It was there, and then, of course, the fight itself happened, and it was, like you said, this was really what turned the corner for you. What were your expectations going into this fight?
I thought Artem, with the Conor McGregor Association and everything like that, was going to get us a little bit of buzz going that way. Yeah. And the fact that Artem left the UFC to join bare knuckle, not the other way around, not that he got cut.
Yeah.
And, I thought that was great, and I thought we were gaining some momentum going into this. And I knew Jason Knight was going to be tough, but in all honesty, I did not know that he had. I made a Facebook post, and I said, these two guys, it was something you can't teach. It's something you can't train for. It's something deep down inside of them. It's something that they experienced in the past in their life. It's some bad things that happened to them, some good things that happened to them. It's what they were born with. And they would rather die in the center of that ring than to quit. Either of them, both of them. That's not normal. It's just not normal. Those are the exception to the rule. And I would pay those guys, whatever it needed to take to get those kind of fights on every show. It's not going to happen. But those guys are unbelievable, and they helped take bare knuckle fighting championship and the sport of bare knuckle fighting really to another level.
I agreed 1,000%. So not just from a fan perspective, but you're saying too, so from a back end, a business perspective, it was just as big, correct?
It was so big. It was so big, and I take my hat off to these guys because look, some people are criticizing me, and we can get into that now if you want, for what I did in the center of the ring, and I got on the mic, and I was going to hold half the guy's purse. And you know what, man? Probably not the most professional thing I should have done at the time, but I don't apologize for feeling that way, and I don't apologize for wanting to do that, because I put my blood, sweat, and tears, my life into this for the past 9 years, and the fighters know. Like the
Yeah.
guy after the fight, when I told him I'm taking your money, and he said, I understand. And I said, look, man, I'm not taking your money. I can't do it. I just don't have that in me. But you deserve to get your fucking money taken. And he's like, I agree. So, I mean, it's not like I did. So I warned them. I warned them all. I warned them three rounds in a row. And look, I'm not going to take someone's money like that, but I'm never going to use a guy like that that doesn't want to stand there and fight. I gave my all to make this happen. And you see now what we need. We need Artem and Jason. We need that kind of ferocity inside that ring, that kind of attitude. And you know, the promotion really won't settle for anything less. We'll handle it differently moving forward. And like I said, the guy got paid in full, so that's water under the bridge now. And you know, if people want to say things about me, and that's okay, man. Look, I acted like an idiot that night by doing that, so I should be called an idiot. But at the end of the day, I made right by the situation, as I always did. I never screwed anybody, and this company and this sport are just going to another level now, and we need more fights like we had.
I think the general consensus, just from what I saw on social media about that issue, about you get in the middle of the ring and saying all that stuff. Honestly, man, I think it's probably 70-30 positive. Just positive in the sense of I don't think most of the people hated you for it. I think a lot of people understood, and there was a lot of fighters that were defending your position on it, and maybe not so much the money part, but the part about you were essentially lighting a fire, right? You were wanting to set that example, and you were kind of lighting a fire under their ass, and that's essentially what you were doing. And somebody put it best, and I forget who it was, but someone was like, "Look, when you have hundreds of thousands or whatever it is you have invested into this company, it's your ass on the line just as much as anybody else's, man. And it's got to be successful. Like this is what you do. This is your livelihood, and you want to make sure that these guys are giving their all just like you are. And I don't think that there's a negative connotation to it. And I hope I understood. I understood exactly where you were coming from when you said it, and I get it. And I think a lot of people get it, and I think a lot of the fighters get it. And I think maybe knee jerk, and like you said, maybe not the right exact moment, but hey, either.
I mean, I think it shows my passion, right? I mean,
Yeah.
It's what I want, and I think the thing that a lot of people did miss, because most of the people that are saying bad things aren't really the people that were there. It's the people that heard about that I took someone's money or was going to.
Right.
But at the end of the day, what I really did say, though, and again, we'll just get past this after this, is I'm going to hold half your purse and give it to your opponent, because now your opponent wasn't able to earn his knockout bonus because you held him and ran the whole time.
Right.
That's what it was about. It wasn't really just about I wanted to do something to this guy, but this guy tried to fight his ass off. I mean, Reggie Barnett did everything he could to create a fight and wasn't able to. So at the end of the day, look, man, I just want the fighters to perform. I give the fighters the best that I can give them. I give them top dollar. I treat them great. I give them great accommodations. I do everything I can do. I promote them well, and I expect the same in return. And if that sounds selfish, then it sounds selfish. But I expect them to give me back what I give them, and 90% of them do.
Is the Paulie and Artem fight, is that pretty much set in stone?
That's a done deal. That's a wrap. It's June 22nd in New England. We'll announce which state that's going to be in any day. But June 22nd, Paulie Malignaggi versus Artem Lobov. Probably the biggest bare knuckle fight ever in history. And I really think it's probably going to be one of the top 5 to 10 fights in any combat sport this year.
How do you think Paulie does? How do you think? Because obviously, his pedigree in regular boxing is obviously, you're right. It doesn't even need to be talked about. But how do you think? Because there is a difference. There's a huge difference between regular boxing and bare knuckle. How do you think he transitions to that world?
I mean, he is a rough, tough guy. Also, look, he's a slick boxer, but he's also a guy. He doesn't have an ounce of quit in him. Right. He doesn't. I mean, I think he fares very well in this. I think it is going to be different once he gets hit with the knuckle instead of the glove. He can't roll a punch off the shoulder because it's going to hit his shoulder. And when that punch hits your shoulder, it's going to hurt. It's not like getting hit with the glove. So, I mean, I think he's definitely going to have a learning curve when it comes to this. But, he's been in with the best in the world. The best, I mean, the best of the best. Adrian Broner, he lost with decision to.
Yeah.
And Artem showed Saturday night that he's not quitting. So I think that's fireworks, right? I mean, I think, look, Paulie has so much to lose as well. I mean, I think that we just wrote the script for what could be another sensational fight.
Yeah. Agreed. 1,000%. Dave, where do you want to see Bare Knuckle go from here? Because you just came off this huge show. You got another huge show in the making with Paulie and Artem on that one. But, I mean, where do you go from here, man? Is it just sky's the limit?
Yeah, man, I think we have to do everything right as we do, but we have to pick some fighters. Paulie did a great service to us we didn't get a lot of boxers yet, but by waking up the boxing world and being like, whoa, what is this sport? Because it was MMA, and now it's boxing. And now I'm getting reached out to by boxers all over the world. And where do I want to see it go? I mean, obviously, that's an easy answer. Where I want to see it go, where do I think it's going to go? I think by the end of 2019, we're going to be considered, people are going to say, boxing, MMA, and bare knuckle. I think that's going to happen by the end of 2019. I think by the end of 2020, people are going to say, holy shit, these guys are only 2 years old, and they're a major player in combat sports right now. That's what I think is going to happen. The momentum that we're getting now and the fighters that are reaching out to us, I'm not going to mention who it is, but there's fighters that are, quote-unquote, retiring from MMA, and they're not retired. So we're going to be making some really cool announcements pretty soon, and it's also Dave,
would any of those happen to be Irish?
So next, anyway, so like I'm saying, it's humbling to me and the organization that these kind of guys are reaching out to us. Like, they're considering, look, this is just as good as UFC or fighting for a world championship. This is something different. Let's fight for these guys. I mean, think about it. A week and a half ago, we got voted in as law. A year ago. A week and a half ago. We're not even a year old.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying we're making millions of dollars and we're doing this, but, man, we did shake up combat sports in less than a year, and there's no stopping. This has been an unbelievable ride for me and the team, and they're just jumping on board to see where this thing goes. And I'm not saying it because I'm talking to you, but with guys like you guys supporting us and guys that really see where this thing can go, it's amazing. It's amazing, and who knows where we go? Who knows how fast we go? We want to grow at a good pace, at a steady pace, but we also don't want to go too fast and make too many mistakes. Look, we're going to make mistakes. We're new. But we're going to learn from our mistakes, and I think bare knuckle fighting, and specifically bare knuckle fighting championship, is going to be in the next 18 months. It's going to be a player.
Well, I think that's a good kind of segue to kind of wrap it up, man. But wow, you guys are on fire, Dave, and I think it's apparent if anybody listens to you talk more than 5-10 minutes. I think you really get the sense of passion that you have for it, and I think again, the thing that happened when you're talking in the middle of the ring, it's all apparent. I think it's all kind of connected. You have a passion, and it's undeniable. And I think that you're going to take this sport to, new heights, man. I really do.
I mean, I love it. Look, I love the sport.
Yeah.
I love everything about it. I love the fighters. I truly do, because any fighter that would step in that square circle and really lay it down for us, to risk a scar for the rest of their life, for the fans, for their family, this isn't just me. If this goes to the next level, this changes my life, it changes my family's life, it changes your life, it changes Nick's life, it changes the fighters' lives. This isn't it's not just something that's fun and they gave it a shot. This is potentially life-changing for hundreds of people. And I'm going to push my ass off until I can change a lot of people's lives. This isn't all about me, man. This is about everybody that supported me and everybody that supports me and everybody that wants to see this thing grow. And I want to see it grow. And look, it's not about the money at all. At the end of the day, if we make some good money, it's great. It's about doing something that everybody, and I mean everybody, I even talked to my fiance today. I said, remember, everybody, including you, told me this was never going to happen? Because I was reading an article, and they say, a year ago today, they were talking about bare knuckle, and David Feldman would mention bare knuckle to anybody who would listen. He had this wild dream, and here it is. You know, it's starting to come true, and I love it. I love the direction we're going. I truly love everybody that's supporting us, like I really, really do, because they see what I see, and you know, who knows where the future is going to go. But Josh, man, it's been awesome. We're coming off a great event, and it's going to be a great future. And thank you for having me again to be able to express where this thing's going.
Absolutely. Dave Feldman, CEO of BKFC. Go check out the replay of BKFC 5 if you haven't already. Shame on you. But go check out the replay. You definitely won't regret it. Thanks for stopping by, Dave. And that's all we got.